Ladies and gents, welcome to another Play All 3. This is the second round. Actually, no. This isn't the second round for both these players. This is the second round for BacT. Yo comes in here. Wait a second. This is the second round for Yo. I'm confused. I'm sorry. It's been hard for me to keep track. For people later on YouTube, there's going to be a post or an edit that will show you the group standings. But the important thing to note right now is that BacT played his first round against Leary, and he got a win. And BacT came out of retirement. So I feel like that's a really good start for him. And if he could get a win or 2 wins against Yo, it's going to be an amazing start for him in Titans League, as he still will have MBL, Draken, and then Dark to face up against. We've got the Humans here for BacT. This has been a pick that we have seen before on this map. I remember Hera and Tato doing it. Tato doing it twice, actually, so far. On a map that has a lot of extra sheep towards the middle. You can see BacT's going out to try and get them now. And try and get lucky and find them. And, you know, the Humans have actually had very good success. I think they have not lost a game yet with the 2TC approach or even the aggression if they choose to do that. Now, the map generation is very interesting with the golds, I've noticed. It's not a bad map for BacT by any means. In fact, you know, the wood line here is just a free wall to the edge of the map. And a little bit of walling here, and it's good. But it is interesting how this map is laid out. It's definitely a bit more awkward. And it is more awkward for Yo as well, who's gone for the poles here, guys. So both civilizations that normally want to rely on their economy in early stages and have some ability to spam in later stages. But poles was not something I'd expected here on Ghost Lake. But, you know, I want to remind you guys that, you know, Yo, he went in as the favorite against Draken in his first round, and he lost 1 game. So far in this series, in this group, we've only had 1 3-0, which to me is pretty crazy. And that was one MBL beat Dark 3-0. I think a lot of people looked at the lineup in Group B and said, okay, Yo, Leary, and MBL are in the same group. Those 3 are going to dominate the other 3. And that hasn't necessarily been the case. I'm excited. I'm happy to have BacT back and playing Age of Empires 2 again. Really happy for the guy that he's decided to come back for this. I don't think he's planning on necessarily coming back full time. Like, I don't know the specifics. I think he's got, you know, a wife and a job and all these things, but he's been a classy player for a very long time. Yo has actually been very unlucky with the sheep here. He even missed the sheep here from BacT. I say unlucky, he's still got plenty of food, but it's something worth thinking about. And BacT still looking around for additional sheep, bringing some of those sheep home. And he should be in a pretty good spot here to go for that second town center if he wishes to. So, you know, I think that's kind of the best approach if you pick this civilization. So I'm wondering where he'll town center. You could town center here. Normally you want a wood line and a mineable resource. So he could choose to town center here so we can go wood and gold. Or it could town center here so we can go wood and stone. But I kind of like the idea of wood and gold because his resources are exposed. And look at Yo. Yo's probably like, shoot. Like, this guy's walled up. I don't like that. And Yo's going to gold right now. He's actually skipping a mill, which is surprising to me. And 2 nice hits there from the scout of BacT. And yeah, Yo is not going to go for fast castle. This definitely looks like some level of feudal age aggro as Yo gets to the hill. BacT's kind of letting it slip there. He had some good scout control. And now it's 30 HP for both if they will both run on home. So guys, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see a lumber camp and a mill as your 2 Dark Age buildings. But we have lumber camp and we have a mining camp. So you have skipping the berries. BacT is going to run on home now. And he's going to grab this. BacT is not going to expect his opponent to be up this quickly. We're likely going to see villagers come forward here for Yo. I wouldn't really understand the play otherwise. He's going to need a barracks. He's going to need a range. And the timing on it is actually not going to be perfect with his feudal age time. Just because he's caught up so fast. But this seems to be the forward. There's also a world where he tries to go man-at-arms. Like, look at his food. And he's pulled 4 villagers off the sheep just to get a little bit of extra wood here so he can get his range up right away. He's going to send them back to food eventually here. And BacT, he's not expecting Yo to be up right now. And he's not going for the second TC. And, oh, that's a really important moment here. And BacT is laughing. So Yo's they're both laughing because BacT knows that this is unexpected. And that's a shock to him, isn't it? He would have thought he would have been up faster, and now he's going to go for a stable. At home, we just have the archer range here for Yo. I mean, still, I have to say, like, Yo's eco has taken a hit because of this. But Yo now has the scout, and that's just because he was feudal age that much faster. And BacT's going to add scouts. BacT doesn't know what his opponent's adding now because he can't get vision on it. And now Yo knows that he needs to prioritize walling up because there will be scouts coming out. We'll see if there's maybe a second town center. See, I've seen this many times before where players will try and go into a second TC behind scout pressure. Oh, nice poke there from BacT. This might actually lead to him being able to kill that scout from Yo. And it's going to be important for Yo, if he wants to get some damage in here, to bring the archers with the spearmen forward. He's not going to want to move out without the spearmen. But it seems like by the time any army would get over there, scout now goes down. KD's 1-1 here in game number 1. Yeah, it feels like by the time that pressure would come over, the archers are not going to be able to get through. Excuse me. Morning, Sergio. Yeah, my throat's a little sore for some reason. I don't know if my cold's coming back. I've been casting a lot, so I'm just going to be more relaxed here, guys. No holes here for Yo. Obviously, the name of the game is going to be farms around the full work. And no holes here for BacT either, but, you know, that second TC is not coming up here for BacT. And honestly, I think it's probably the correct play to not add it. You've committed to playing this way, and I think adding the TC, it just takes so long to build. I think by the time you get that TC up and producing villagers, it might already be a little bit too late. And this is kind of funny. BacT's going to be able to see the farms. Oh, he hit the farm! He hit the farm between the tree and between the palisade wall. So farms on 1 HP. Oh my god, there was apparently a hole over here. Farms on 1 HP can be killed, guys. And now villager's been killed over here. So a lot of things going on here. Yo's going to be happy he's killing villagers after that. So he lost 60 wood. But, you know, I've seen farms attacked before with a unit. That's very much a thing. But what's not common is seeing it through the palisade and through the wood line there. So that's 60 wood down the drain for Yo. At the end of the day, though, he did harass and idle a lot of economy here. So I think that he'll be fairly happy with the fact that he was able to do that. Dang. Well, you know, Poles was an interesting choice from Yo. A map that you would expect more for Arena. A map where you don't have to work to wall up as much. You can see what he's going for now. Still trying to farm around these full works. You get 10% of the farm's food instantly when you build it around the full work. Very strong. But, you know, he's walled out some stone. He's walled out some gold. He isn't taking advantage of the fact that you can take stone and earn a little bit of gold income from that too. And I'm sure his resources are going to spike, but I'm not the most impressed with the build and the play so far for Yo. Not gonna lie, that makes me irrationally angry when people do that to me. It's such a funny thing in our game. The whole attacking farm thing. And I didn't know it was possible. Here, I'm just gonna click this little editor button so Hardy can take a look at it later if he wants to add it to a short. He'd have to scroll back, but I didn't know it was possible to hit a farm through the tree in the palisade wall like that. It did cross my mind when he was there. You guys are probably like, oh, nah, you're crazy. You're lying. There's no way you thought about that. But yeah, my brain was like, I wonder if he could do that. But I guess it makes sense because the farm is actually right, like, very close by. Anyways, backed in the middle of the map with these scouts, and he's going to have a really good uptime. Now, there is sometimes a question of, do you make the TC now? And the answer seems to be no. I like how BacT didn't even hesitate to make a mill on the deer here as well. I think that really helped his uptime here. He does still have a couple weak villagers here on this wood line. So this is going to be annoying, but Yo's going to drop a market. I'm not sure why he deleted the whole area. Oh, because he needs a blacksmith too. Makes sense. And Yo's going to click up now. So Yo will be behind a castle age. But that eco setup has begun. It's going to be 2 stables for BacT. If this game goes on for a long time, I actually think it's a fairly even civ matchup. Like, I think the fact that humans get halberdier can be very strong. I'm also curious if we're going to see knights or if we're going to see step lancers here from BacT. BacT hasn't been pretty inactive, so I don't know if he's noticed everyone's been going for step lancers. I don't think step lancers make a lot of sense, though. I think making 2 knights is more effective. Step lancers. Oh, step lancers can be good if you're expecting, like, to go forward, I think. Like, if you're not going to really break in, I don't know. I guess it all depends on the situation. Step lancers cost a lot more food than gold. And BacT is just like, I dare you. I dare you to try this again. And here go the villagers. Now, I'll be honest. These villagers could have had the Siege Workshop built already. So I'm not the biggest fan of the timing here. Right? Like, this is something that you could have done in Feudal Age if you're BacT. Also, you can see the scout here. BacT trying to block and kill the spearman here. Kills it. Yo wants to know if there's anything crazy going on back here. Yo adds a stable, but that's stable number 1 for him. And it does look like Yo really wants to focus on his economy. He's got lots of villagers on stone. He's probably expecting his opponent to have a TC back here, but that's not happening. We're going to have knights. We're going to have monks. We're going to have siege. And Yo could be in big trouble here. Oh, man. I mean, Yo's going to add 1 scout. And let's see what he can do after he sees this. But Yo getting his wood upgrade, his farm upgrade, and adding that town center. And I don't think he's expecting this level of pressure at all here from BacT. Now, the important thing, of course, is the monks. If, you know, you're going forward like this. Because otherwise, the opponent can use the knights to snipe the siege. And, oh, man, that's a great hit there from BacT. Did you see that? Attack round on the scout. Now, microing his scout away from the spearman. He will kill Yo's scout now. Also, if you're wondering where Yo's archer is, Yo's archer's over here. I don't know where the other one went. But Yo is under some pressure here. And, I mean, this could end the game very quickly. Yo knows it as well. He has to completely abandon the left side of his base. He had to panic add stone walls. He now has to panic add another monastery. But BacT still having scouts means that these monks might not even get an opportunity to convert. Now, the monk needs to move forward. I don't know. Where is that monk, actually? There's no monk yet at all for BacT. Oh, no. He is moving forward now. And this is the moment where it's needed. And this is where you should not lose that mangonel if you're BacT. And he doesn't lose it. But he loses a knight to a conversion. And Yo actually instantly there turns it around. Now, if Yo can kill this monk, it's suddenly a little different. He does kill the monk. But the scouts are now in for BacT. And, man, what an interesting game. Yo does have the eco lead. He's done enough over the last few moments to maybe hold on. Remember, he's on stone, so he wants to drop a castle. And, okay, Yo, going for a conversion. Doesn't get the conversion yet, but he can hop in and out of this TC at will. The super annoying position for BacT is now he's kind of trapped in here. Now look at this. Yo goes to convert, and he goes back in the TC. Yo's going to hop out to convert. And then if he can't get it, he's going to hop right back in the TC. Right back in the TC you go. Well, he did lose a monk there, but he also converted a knight, and the TC fire's helping. But now there's more knights running in, and remember, BacT is kind of in an all-in state. He's not booming, but there is a lot more idle time for Yo at the moment, so it's fairly even in that regard. Forward town center? What? Dude, I'm not sure I like this idea, man. You've got all this safe real estate back at home. This is just not a great play. I think Yo is starting to stabilize, and if he just, you know, gets a foothold here, he's just going to smash that TC, and maybe it was all a trap, actually. Maybe it was all bait. As Yo drops a castle now because of that in that area. And Yo's monks, they've saved him here, and I think for BacT, fortunately, he just didn't have his monk there originally, but he's still in a nice position. Yo patiently backs away, adding more farms back here. He's going to get the redemption upgrade, which means he can convert the siege. And I think redemption is something that you just don't see all the time from polls. You're normally talking about all their other bonuses, but yep, they do get it. And so Yo's going to be able to breathe again. You know, he's going to be able to relax again. And all these knights from BacT aren't going to be able to get all that much value. And that's the same exact thing with the siege. But of course, we'll see. I think at this point, you might even want to delete that mangonel if you're BacT. You don't want to lose this and then lose anything else because of it. It doesn't look like he... Oh, he will lose it. And now he loses a monk because of it. And just some sloppy play from BacT. Like, a couple of these movements here. I mean, it's very difficult to execute on this type of build. But a couple of these plays didn't make a lot of sense. Like, that town center made 0 sense to me. I do like the second TC at home, though. And it's 47 villagers versus 50. However, Yo was pulls. And so he's got 2 town centers. He's got farms coming up around Folworks. There was a pause, apparently. BacT said, my font is too big. Let me find to fix. I didn't come the game for a long time. Maybe forgotten all settings. See what I mean? BacT just... It's been a bit since he's played, right? So, again, that's why I've been so impressed with him. And his performance against Leary especially was really good. They had to fix something there. Oh, man. This could be so annoying for BacT, though. Now that Redemption's in, he could end up losing all these houses to these monks. But I'm looking at Yo's resources right now, guys, as he's adding more stables. And I think he's going to be able to get the privilege upgrade. And if he gets the privilege upgrade, his knights will be, what is it, 60% off? Also, that's not something you see from BacT every day. Atonement upgrade. So we can convert enemy monks. Yo will know exactly what that means. There was nothing else close by. And Yo actually saved his monk there by blocking with his own knight. Now he's going to lose the knight to a conversion. He's not going to lose the knight to a conversion. Wow. Pretty gutsy to still be around here if you're BacT when there's so many monks, right? But here come the upgrades from Yo. And he's got that eco lead. He's only lost 3 villagers this game, but he loses another one over the wood line on this side. Good constant pressure from BacT as BacT adds TC number 3. Could have probably had the 3rd town center faster if BacT wouldn't have started building it here and then deleted it and lost some of that stone. Why don't they pick up relics? Well, there's a lot of pressure, right? I think you will see a couple relics collected, but then it's always a question, too, if you're BacT, like, where on earth do you take them? BacT having Atonement now does make it interesting. Yo's just been so patient. I mean, he's going to drop another castle over here. He's just playing safe behind Eco this whole time. Because he has faith that the Polish economy can carry. A light cap from Yo seems like a really wise decision here, right? He's teching that now because he knows the monks could be a bit of an issue. He's not so worried about the siege. He's more so worried about the monks converting his monks. And that's exactly what BacT is going to try here. And BacT, unfortunately, loses a monk to the TC fire. BacT will also start to lose these houses, too. And there the Mangonel doesn't get converted. And so more villagers die for Yo. There's a lot of focus on this, too. Like, the person that asked about relics. You've got to add eco out of 3 town centers, place farms, do everything else. Like, clicking monks to individual relics is just another highly specific thing that you've got to do. It's easier to just make sure you don't lose your army and then do all the small things back at home. Wonder if we're going to see TC number 4 for BacT here on that main gold. As he dives underneath this TC. There are monks in there for Yo. Also, BacT has no upgrades right now. Diving underneath a castle on a TC is crazy when you've got no blacksmith upgrades. He doesn't even have bloodlines. Highly questionable stuff here for BacT. But he is possibly going to be able to take out the town center. A lot of this does depend on if his monks get conversions, though. Can't help but feel like a lot of this is the rust for BacT, just not getting a couple upgrades. Like, it's one thing to just not have blacksmith upgrades, but he doesn't even have bloodlines. But also, again, shows how strong he is. He did lose his Mangonel over here. That he is actually still pushing this town center. And Yo, however, still has that economy lead and has that Polish economy. The economy that is hard to compete with in this game. Ever since this Civ's been introduced, man, it's just been doing crazy, crazy things. And there's the TC. BacT did have to clear up a knight here. And so before TCs, But I can tell there's a shift in momentum here, right? The light cav feels like they will inevitably kill these monks. BacT has to pull back his knights. Doesn't do so immediately. Surely none of this is intentional. I think he's distracted with other things. Maybe it was intentional. He's going to see those stables. Like, look at that. You see a line of stables in the back. That's not a great sign. That's going to make you want to make more monks, right? But obviously, when there's light cav that are so good against the monks, that could be an issue. And these monks don't even have sanctity, so they melt to the light cav. And while it was a bit awkward for Yo at points in this game, look at the value. Oh my goodness. This is like 6 monks killed. And he still could end up getting the final 2 with these light cav. The other light cav has switched sides. But that was crazy value there from Yo. So he's got 17 knights now. He's got 5 more in the queue. He's got 86 villagers. He will just rebuild the TC over here. He will now be able to clear up the entire forward from BacT and take out BacT's buildings, which would include the 2 relics. There's also the 3rd relic there, so that's like a gift for Yo. And it's all falling apart here for BacT. And now it's all stabilizing, I guess. So, you know, dropping a castle at home will keep him alive in this game. But I've said it many times about the poles with that unique tech and that farming eco, man. You have... Even if you're going counter units, the Slacha privilege upgrade makes knights so cheap, you've absolutely no chance. And Yo wins the first game. The first time we've seen poles picked on Ghost Lake. And I just feel like it's a very Yo game, right? Went for unique opening. Kind of mind gamed back a little bit, killing the scout. Just played behind walls and played super defensive, super strategic with the economy. The castle timing was really good. I think that was a big thing here. The monastery defense was really good. I mean, it was stressful, right? It really looked like BacT was going to be able to push. But, you know, a couple house walls here or there, a couple conversions here or there, and then you fast forward 5 to 10 minutes and BacT, he doesn't have much of a win condition anymore. I think if you ever go for Siege Monk, you cannot lose your early monks and you cannot lose your early siege. And they're designed to protect each other. So that first monk, had it been there to save that first mangonel, it's a very different situation because Yo didn't have a mass yet. But the problem was the first monk and the first mangonel went down. And then by the time he ended up getting mangonels and monks, Yo had already, you know, had the time to get the mass going. And the knights ended up being rather frantic within the base because they didn't have anything to push with. So they're just trying to run in and do damage instead of being a part of a greater snowball-y type push. It was an interesting game, though. It was an interesting game, and we'll see what this series looks like. I mean, BacT, he had a good game, right? Didn't end up winning. I think he got out-strategized a little bit there. And anyways, resources there, 27,000 resources for Yo. It was 26,000 for BacT. And you've got to think, like, he's got to warm up a little bit here, too, in the series, possibly. So that first game's out of the way. Yo gets a victory, but BacT will move on to his home map next. Wow, Yo is all about the newer expansion civilizations, isn't he, right? Went for the Poles game 1. Now he goes for Burgundians game 2. I do think, though, that both civilizations here have some obvious weaknesses compared to, you know, some of the other civilizations we've seen. So, you know, this is Acropolis. This is BacT's home map. And the thing about Mayans is they've been good for years and years and years. It's just that they're an archer civilization, and the archer play can be quite slow here. So that's like negative number 1, I'd say, for going Mayans. You're still Mayans. You still have great crossbow play. You still can boom well. You still have good late game. But that could be an issue long term. It's just not that, and not being able to full wall easily because this doesn't extend to the edge of the map. We have to hope that BacT knows that. And, you know, at the very least, looked at some of the maps before the event. Yo, on the other side, he's picked Burgundians. And it's like kind of the same problem. Burgundians want to rely behind walls, and they want to get early eco upgrades. But I don't feel like this is an easy map to do that because everything's so exposed. So I'll be curious to see how Yo plays the Burgundians. But, I mean, both civilizations have been dominant within our scene, whether in recent times or, you know, in the past. So, interesting game we'll have here. I was not expecting to see these two civilizations here. I think normally you're going to see things like Tatars, Chinese, Berbers, Magyars, like any good cavalry civilization, basically. Chinese, obviously, a little bit more flexible. And I would consider Burgundians great with their stable units. However, I think the way their economy tends to play out, this could be a little bit more difficult. But I think the big thing here for BacT still, you know, he's on week number 2 now here in this series, but he hasn't been playing the games consistently. Just get a win versus Yo. Get a win versus Yo in the playoff 3, and I think you'll be pretty happy. And just like he got that win in game number 3 versus Leary, which will have massive ramifications, I feel. Eagle came forward to try and lame. Pretty easy to find your opponent's base on this map. And wasn't able to find any boars. We do have the boars generating to the side or the back of most bases on our maps. And, oh, that could be a dead vill. BacT is going to kill this villager. No, he's not, actually. It was unfortunate for BacT, actually. He was so close to killing a vill. He does actually delay Yo making a house, though. So, in the end, I actually think that ends up... It puts you ahead an additional villager because Yo had to get loom early. And now, of course, this scout will eventually lose against the eagle scout. So, Yo has to back away. And all these things just showing the value here of the eagle. Yeah, I don't actually recall if we had the boars generating to the side and the back on Acropolis. Because I wasn't really expecting people to try and steal resources there. Okay, and we're going to see a couple militia, I imagine. And BacT has seen a lot here. He wants to pressure Yo. Maybe part of it in his mind is he doesn't want Yo to be able to take the other resources down here on the bottom. That's normally what you fight for. I personally love the fact that Yo has... that BacT has placed a lumber camp on the downside here because I think bottom of the hill is just going to last you longer. That said, Yo did pick a really nice spot for being up on top of your hill. And something's going on here, right? Like, Yo's like, what is happening? I can't even push my deer. And so, general rule of thumb is if you can't scout, you should probably just play safe and get some palisade walls down. And so, that's exactly what he's doing. We'll see if he does the same on the berries here. And Yo's going to click up to feudal age here soon. BacT will probably do the same eventually, just not quite as quickly. And I did want to see, actually, if BacT found all of his resources, because he went early with the eagle. And it looks like he did. He probably went early with the eagle because he had found all of his resources right away. I think at the very least, if you want to be annoying with this, you could end up taking out a house or something. Also, Yo has to be careful he doesn't overchop this tree. And BacT heading to gold now with a villager or two. I'll probably click up. I think 27 pop is the only thing that's achievable. And even then, I think these villagers would have to drop off the food. So they're almost finished with that deer. I like this from BacT. He saw the walls, and he didn't show the militia yet. I still hate this build order from Yo. Like, I still do not believe that this is a very good build on this map, or even picking the Burgundians in general. And now BacT desperate for a villager kill yet again. He's not going to get the villager kill, but he is idling villagers, which is very effective drush here. And he's just going to camp on that mill, and he's like, okay, you're not going to be able to take your berries then, punk. BacT clicked up. Pretty decent build, like we had said. And nice little control for BacT. However, if they're both going into archers, Yo will be faster. I just now noticed this. Yo is going to have more wood down there. I think this is really important. Also, let's see if Yo gets his Castle Age wood upgrade here. He's got lots of food. I feel like you should get it with that much food. But you can't get it before you make the archer range. He had to make the second lumber camp. Then he had to make the mining camp. He still needs the archer range. He's going to add the archer range. BacT now will know his opponent is likely going to go for archers because he sees the gold. The overchop here has been patched up. Nice job there from Yo. There could always be more. It's unlikely this will ever kill villagers now. And holy deer for BacT. It's interesting. He actually pulled all of his villagers off of gold. But he has gold banked. So to me, it kind of feels like this is going to be skirmishers from BacT. And then he can maybe go archers later on. But I don't think it's fast castle from BacT. I think that'd be too crazy, right? Maybe it is. Archer range. Actually. This would be a disgusting fast castle time if he could actually pull it off. Speaking of disgusting, look at wood upgrade and farm upgrade all here in feudal. It's very similar to how he played the first game, right? With poles, just like greedy with eco. Playing the Burgundians to their strengths. BacT is now housed, which hurts. He needs a blacksmith. But if he makes the blacksmith with these vills and then drops off the food, he could actually click up. But he's going for a double range now. So I don't... Not entirely sure. Keep in mind, like, if he's not Castle Age faster, and not having that blacksmith's going to delay him so much here. He doesn't have the wood income. But if he's not Castle Age faster, like, Yo's economy is going to look so good with all these farms. These are heavy plow farms, and the villagers on wood are chopping much more efficiently than BacT's villagers are. BacT is experienced enough to know that even though it says in the tech tree that you need 2 feudal age buildings to go Castle Age, that 2 of the same building doesn't count. He should know this. So, you know, he is opting for the archer numbers first, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. He needs to catch up with the archer numbers. And then I think he's going to drop the blacksmith. He's just waiting for the wood to drop the blacksmith, and then you could still click up. This is honestly really well played from both players here, guys. And I think still plenty of potential for BacT with the double ranges, and I think Yo is not going to expect BacT to be up to Castle Age. Like, he's thinking that, like, BacT is maybe going to be a little faster than him, but not by a couple minutes here. Important thing for BacT now is you don't lose your archer mass, because Yo is making skirmishers here in feudal age. This is an issue I always have. Look at Yo with the walls, too. Just in case army arrives, he's going to be protected there. BacT's never scouted that. But yeah, an issue I always have is, like, I go for the good build order, and then my opponent finds me with skirmishers before I get crossbowmen. Not ideal. Now, I also don't think BacT's going to be able to afford a lot, so I think it's really important that he gets value. Bonk. Bonk. Kills the scout. And now Yo is in the dark. Look at this food economy here for BacT. It's not that crazy, right? He's got no market. He's really going to need to work in more farms. And here he goes. And here's Yo. Yo looking for this force. Oh, man. Okay, BacT finding this is actually very good for him because it would have gone right to his wood line otherwise. It's not good that Yo could bring the skirms out. It seems like BacT is actually just going to use the new archers as defense and move forward with these archers now. Again, timing's crucial here on the upgrades and the numbers. And BacT is paying attention to his forward army. And he's kind of paying a price here. It'll be an even trade, but I think this is not a trade that BacT would want right now. And even there, right? Like, that's a sloppy moment where he probably shouldn't have lost an additional archer. However, he is going to hit the wood line, and the skirms for Yo don't know where those units are. And crossbowman's on the way now. So let's see Yo's damage control. Remember, damage control in game number 1 was so impressive from him. He still hasn't clicked up to Castle Age. He is on stone, probably for defensive towers. And yet again, BacT maybe a little late to reacting here. Crossbowman upgrade wasn't in yet, and Yo getting some good trades. And this is Yo's opportunity now. He says, all right, I can defend from this. We'll drop a tower here. We might drop a tower here, and then maybe even a tower over on that wood line. Such a good job from Yo. Like, it's such a consistent theme where he kind of knows what's coming, and he knows how to just hold off until his win condition will come in. Sees those crossbowmen, moves away. Sees this crossbowman, chases with 2 skirms. BacT looking for more and more damage, and maybe a position now where BacT might consider booming, but I'd still like to see him continue to pressure. Tower defense is big investment here. You don't see it all the time these days for a reason. And look at BacT's micro, too. Saving this crossbow, bringing the eagles in now. This is really good from him. And now he's actually heading over towards a wood line, which Yo doesn't have the stone to tower right now. Yeah, that was really crazy micro. The fact that he saved this crossbow and now could camp this wood line. BacT's APM is off the charts right now. He does have Bodkin Arrow as well, so he could take down Feudal Age Skirms. Theory's dodging the tower. He did lose his crossbowman here, though, to Yo. These crossbowmen now microing. Man, if BacT knew about the wood line! Like, Yo's not even towering that wood line. He's just assuming his opponent's not going to find it, or he's going to have enough skirms there. BacT out of stable. He's a minute away from clicking up to the next stage. And he has held. Just barely held 13 to 6 KD. BacT is going to be so frustrated because he's had the Eagles, he's had the crossbowman. If he's been able to fight in open battle, he would win the fight. But he's been trying to pick off this eco. And Yo has just made it so incredibly difficult. And then he just falls back to his tower and says, yeah, what are you going to do about it? So good. And still continuously repositioning these villagers so he doesn't overchop as well. Yo hasn't lost a single villager this game, which is crazy. He almost lost that villager to the eagle, if you remember. And okay, BacT, this is a good moment for him. Yo is clearly busy over here. And Yo's just going to sacrifice these skirms to try and kill that crossbow. But this is a bit of an issue. He's actually losing all these skirms. And he's got to reposition off this wood line. And he's got to reposition off of this wood line. So if BacT kills like 3 or 4 villagers now, it's all this pressure still worth it. And he knows it. And that's the second villager he's killed. It's going to be at least 3. Over here as well. He's going to get really close to killing some villagers. Nice job from BacT. So 3 villagers killed. We do have some knights coming out, though, from Yo. Yo doesn't have that many upgrades, though. So he could lose this knight. And Yo's still under so much pressure. And BacT still streaming forward. Eagles and crossbows. Eagles and crossbows. So yeah, crossbows are slower than knights. But BacT has actually been able to make some damage happen here. He killed another villager on this side. So pretty eventful game here, guys. And let's just see, like, Yo, who's obviously... He never takes breaks from Age of Empires 2. He's Mr. Consistent in Age of Empires 2. Is he going to be able to bring this one back now? We've got crossbows, monks, everything just spamming. Even the eagles. It's just like every single production building BacT has there is always producing. And we have a castle now from Yo. Oh, boy. Well, that castle will likely go up. Actually, now that I say that, there's a lot of crossbows. If they were all here, they could dive that tower. You don't normally see players do that. Yo needs wood really badly right now. Like, that's his biggest weakness, is he does not have wood control. And BacT is going to drop TC number 2. So BacT has killed villagers. He's had less TC idle time. And he's going to be on that second town center. But he will now find out that the castle's up. And this is a very dangerous unit. This unit has a charge attack, so its initial damage output is so much higher than other times. And, you know, a couple Coustier and some monks can do some damage. But Yo still knows that wood is an issue for him as he falls back here to drop a tower. BacT could still kill those villagers, though. He sees one building. And it's so important to remind you guys how important every game is. Even if you lose the series, getting wins is the important thing within your group. Yo no wood, man. Yo no wood. These villagers have nowhere to go. Could have preemptive towered this earlier on in the game, but remember, he was too busy towering everywhere else. And I don't think these villagers are really going to be able to escape, as it's been 7 villagers, now 8 villagers killed in this game. The pressure is on here for Yo. But he somehow has the score lead. Don't ask me about that. And now he's got all this mobility. Look at how many monks BacT has on the field, though. Oh, he's got more monks. Now, the monks will get one-shotted. But 2 conversions come in. That's so important. Yo's going to try and convert units back. And BacT pulls away! And he kills that monk. Dude, BacT is a beast. Man, I wish I could retire and then come back and be this good. Maybe that's what I have to do. Holy crap. Good counter damage there from Yo. Especially because BacT's going to want to continue to push forward. It's very easy to make mistakes when you're up against the units that Yo has. And when BacT has the micro monks too, which are so micro intensive. Yo will do that a lot, right? Like, he'll go for small counter attacks and then you'll make mistakes in the main fight. But, you know, here it doesn't really seem like many mistakes are going to be made at this point. No horse collar kind of hurts to see for BacT. He's going to convert another knight, though. And he's going to be able to complete that town center. And he still has a massive army over here. I don't think Yo can take this fight. I know why he's taking the fight, and I know his unit's strong, but I think that the crossbowman can still micro down these units here. And it does look like the crossbowmen are going to stick around for a while, and that BacT will be able to complete this TC if he pays attention to it. But you can notice, like, when you look at BacT's economy, you can notice the lack of balance and structure there just because of how much focus he has to put into these armies. He's a crazy micro player. I want to see the APM chart. Like, look how fast BacT is, dude. Look at the military APM. That's insane. But you can make mistakes, right? When you're splitting armies, and then if you aren't controlling the game anymore with your armies, you have even bigger problems. And you can tell Yo is trying to group up enough of these bad boys for one big fight, and like that could be an easy clear, and this could be an easy clear at this point with these numbers. And now I think if you're BacT, I think all your crossbowmen have to start massing at home, and you have to start making sure you get ballistics and monks and everything there, because you've got the lead, but can you maintain the lead? Yo's 2 town centers. He hasn't been able to get any real control of the bottom of this hill on Acropolis. But this is what Yo is looking for, and this is what that mobility can achieve. And now that's an easy clear for Yo. Again, now you start to worry if you're BacT, right? Oh, man. Because the thing is, Yo doesn't make mistakes. It's very hard to make mistakes in Yo's position now because you have the faster units. So, oh, you hear monks and you see crossbows? Oh, I better run away now. Okay. Runs away, loses a unit, kills a unit that used to be his. BacT still paying attention here, and can he get conversions? Yo says, no, I'm going to run away again. Yo's still building up this mass, but ballistics is on the way for BacT. I think what's really important here for BacT is that all of his wood lines, all of his resources, everything's underneath the town center. Because otherwise this will happen. Oh, God. What a crazy raid there. Yo suddenly only behind by 7 villagers after that. And he drops TC number 3. And he has all those upgrades we talked about earlier. 4 TCs for BacT. Still looking for good army trades, hoping for good conversions. There's light cav out there, which he needs to really worry about. Those light cav were added so they could kill any monks. And you just don't know where to look if you're BacT. You're just waiting for Yo to make the decision. He's not even overextending to commit to this, really. He's just being patient. And very, very good job from BacT, actually. You see how he's not giving Yo as much respect? Because if he chased all the way down here, Yo would have pushed the hill. But he expected the units would come on the hill as well. Crossbowmen are now not gonna really miss their shots. There's still 26 of them. And BacT is massing stone to maybe drop a castle. And I think the castle is going to have to come around here. Still means you could have issues on top of his hill. I also am a big fan of the outpost here. And the additional outpost from BacT. So he won't get surprised as frequently. And he's adding a barrack. So you might be thinking about going for something like pikemen. I personally don't like pikemen here. I think that the best thing you can do is click up to imp and get to arbalest. Spending food on pikes... Due to pikes being so slow, I just don't think it changes the situation that much here. Yo, desperate for more damage. He will have known that he's been behind for a while now. And he tries to get some damage in here. And he's also over on this side. Dude, BacT... He's probably wishing he was Aztecs right now with how many monks he has. And oh, an amazing clear here. That's an amazing clear. That could lead to all those units going down. Yo trying to split away from the shots like a nerd. And can BacT react over on this side now? He is with the monks. And he gets a few more conversions. Dude, BacT is playing insane. BacT is genuinely playing insane. He's got 14 monks with the Mayans. They don't really have many monk bonuses. But Yo with the big raid. And again, this becomes a consistent theme and a problem here. It was going so well for BacT. And now Yo has tied up the Eco KD again. But, you know, there is a question of at what cost, right? Yo's still 3 TCs. No 4th TC. Still 1 castle, not 2. BacT still can produce more villagers. But the idle time is pretty high as well, right? Like, still got 8 villagers inside this TC not working. We've got quite a few villagers on our screens here, or on a screen here that aren't working. You probably don't have the eco setup that you want. Let's look at resources collected, actually. Yeah, Yo has actually surpassed him in resources collected. And when you have that much wood floating, I know he's an archer civ, but a lot of that is because you have a messy eco. Because villagers frequently will send new villagers to wood, and then players, they pull them off of wood to do other things. That crossbow mass needs to maybe even be pushing at this stage. Where is it? Where's that ball at? Is there a ball? It was heading over here. Now Yo has pressured the middle. 2-to-1 KD here for Yo. And honestly, I think I prefer Yo's position. All depends on what happens here. Oh, I take it back. Yo's out of position. That's a lot of villagers exposed. He wanted to castle the stones there. Didn't actually have the stone for it. The BacT still has to defend on this side with the crossbows and pikemen. He will do so, plus the castle fire. And now, I mean, maybe I prefer BacT's position. Yo has to castle this hill. That's not what he would have wanted. I'm sure he wanted this position for the stone, but also so he could, maybe take more of this control down here. Dang. Still, I think Imp's going to matter a lot here. And BacT has just sunk himself further and further into Castle Age with the Pikeman edition. But it's not a bad thing to do, as he has consistent idle count, and there Yo clicks up. BacT didn't see the castle. The BacT may be pulling away because he knows Yo is massing those crazy mobile units. All right, kill the weak ones. Boom. Oh, BacT is so good. BacT is so good. This is so good. He deserves both conversions, if life is fair. Nope, okay. But he killed the weak ones, guys, and then tried to convert the full HP ones. That's so sick. And here he has to hit and run, hit and run, hit and run. And he's going to choose more so to run here. BacT really needs to click up to Imp, and I think Halberdier is definitely a great option for him. This castle, I don't mind. And I actually love the idea from BacT to wall this, because he knows how annoying the raids are going to be. So kind of castles around his base. Even a castle here would be really good. But BacT doesn't actually see that the army is going that direction right now. He might spot it. Yeah, he sees it now. It's actually good for him that Yo comes this way. A good job from BacT, who tried to raid with some of the units he got converted. But yeah, this reinforces my point on BacT's decision to stonewall that. And BacT is on the way to Imp. He's had so much idle time this game, but still has maintained a higher Vil count. Yo doesn't have a lot on gold, I've noticed, but he does have the golds over here. Not to mention he's got 2 relics, and he has a civilization where if he were to research the Burgundian vineyards, he gets gold from farming. Because, yeah, the Burgundians need that. The crazy tech. And Yo would love to clear this up before the Imperial Age for his opponent, and he is going to clear this up, and oh, man. Also, over here, you've got some villagers dying for Yo, so he's got to pay attention to that. You have some units raiding here, so BacT will need to pay attention to that. 170 population for BacT, who's still struggling to really do damage to Yo. And Yo's going to go for the elite upgrade for these units, so he's not really stopping. And having the castles on the hill, actually a lot more valuable than I think Yo was initially thinking. Remember, he wanted to build the castle here. But how are you supposed to take out these castles if your opponent has them on the hill? That's not going to be so easy. BacT getting some good kills over here, though. He's going for plumes. I mean, plumed archers are a more mobile archer unit. So it does make more sense if you want to be chasing down the Coustier, I guess. Like, plume halb is probably your best composition here. BacT, please wall this up, though. Please wall this up. Please snag these relics. Please get maybe another castle. He doesn't actually have stone that's mineable right now. And look at Yo. Look at how he's thinking about this. He's like, all right, so I maybe get an outpost here soon. Maybe look here soon. Got all my farming eco. But plumed archers, they've got to keep that mass, man. And like, there's got to be a buffer in front. The walls are coming up for BacT now. We'll see if he completes those. Here comes Yo. This is out of BacT's vision for the time being. It's crazy how just having a couple walls be so late could create such an issue for you here if you're backed. And he must have spotted this. And I think it's still likely that these units could get through here. But BacT adds another gate. Wow. Very well played. Gets a conversion. Crossbow's helping. He won't upgrade those, so that's fine to just give them some value. And then over here, BacT is also going for conversions, but he's losing a lot of monks. And the pikes are here to save the day. I'm still very impressed with BacT's reaction time here in these instances, though. Like, how is he reacting and getting so many conversions? Life is so much more difficult for BacT right now. In this game, that is. You know, as for, like, real life, I hope they're both doing really well. And BacT tries to trap him! He tries to trap him! The guts, man! But still, these units, they've got insane first damage attack. They've got crazy mobility. As Yo's even getting crop rotation now, thinking this game could be long. And look at what Yo's doing, guys. He's got Treb here hitting the castle. He's got more units running in. And it's just, ever since momentum was lost, Yo has been dictating the pace of this game. And it's a bit like if you watched my low elo cast yesterday, like if you're just defending the entire game, like that one player was, even if you're ahead in many of the different categories, you're eventually just going to be broken. You need some way to counterattack. And I don't think BacT has that way. Like, I could be wrong. You know, we haven't seen Yo go for skirmishers or anything yet. But the reason I feel it's so inevitable is also because I know Yo. And I see that eco difference. And I know the Burgundians and how good they are in the late game with that farming eco. Yo's going to drop a castle here. Now it's comfortable time to do that so we can secure more stone for more castles. And BacT just calls the GG. And honestly, guys, BacT played so good. He played so good in this game. But this map, you need mobility. And Yo's so good with mobile units. He's so good with knights and eco. And even though Yo lost like 8 or 9 villagers, Yo was just able to pick away at his opponent. And I really feel like BacT played a near perfect game after he had he ran into the problems that he did there. Like he had monks everywhere to get conversions. He was reacting to different sides and different raids. He played an amazing game. But you need to somehow continually pressure, and I think for that to have mattered eventually, instead of having the two groups, I think he needed to have like that one big ball working together all the time. And it's also the main reason why I had mentioned don't go for Mayans on this map. Like, I think Mayans was a really big issue on this map. There's a reason no one's picking Mezzo. Like, if they do pick Mezzo, they'll probably pick Aztecs to go for infantry, because infantry's faster. But there's a reason why you have a lot of stable units involved. And for Yo, it was a very risky pick with the Burgundians. But, man, it was just like a classic Yo victory. It was a really good back and forth. Like, I think that Yo actually made what he just did here look far too easy. He left himself so exposed. There's so much army from his opponent. And then he finally broke. He finally lost some villagers. And even still, he was able to claw his way back in this game. And someone says Cav is just OP without the archer nerf. He would have won. No, I disagree. I disagree. It sounds like you're speaking from experience, losing to too many knights on the ladder or something. I think it is just a highly complex game here. And BacT, when he went up to castle, remember, we talked about his time, right? His time was really good. But when you go Drush FC, essentially, into 2-range crossbowmen, you're not going to be able to afford as much, right? And so what happened for BacT as well is if you look at, like, let's say 22 minutes, look at the difference in eco upgrades. I just picked a random time, but he didn't have horse collar, he didn't have his wood upgrade. It's expensive to go for crossbowman and bodkin arrow, and then he mixed in so many monks as well. And so, you know, the whole approach, obviously, for Yo was just food and wood eco the whole time there, and on the back of it ended up getting control. But that's just a masterclass game from Yo. Very well played. Alrighty, here we go. Good old Nomad. Man, BacT did a really cool thing when he had played Leary in round 1, where he hid his fish as the Spanish. I encourage you guys to find that series. Yo, dear, move. If you haven't watched that series, just try and watch some of that. It was really good. But BacT found himself also in that series down 2-0 versus Leary, and then ended up winning the third game. And, oh boy. Oh boy. They're both going to dock the same spot. The rules are they can't actually attack each other. But that's a really good find for Yo. Both players going to dock the same area here. Whoa. Okay, well, I mean, honestly, there's no world in which they don't find each other here. Also, I'm a little shocked that BacT has gone for the Bohemians over the Malians. If I'm not wrong, he had Malians on his Civ draft. But his TC is over on the left side. It's a very good TC. You've got wood, you've got berries, and you've got deer. That's an amazing TC spot. And then for Yo, nearby, he's got some of those other things I talked about. But the TC is only on the wood. But yeah, it's Portuguese versus Bohemians. I'm thinking that BacT wants Bohemians for the monk potential. I think he's scared of all-in organ guns from Yo. It's something that the Portuguese have been doing more and more, and Portuguese have always been really good at. Also, could just believe in the late game of the Bohemians, too. They have one of the best late games in Age of Empires 2. I don't think BacT has any clue that his opponent is docked here. It is possible, though, that he saw the villager, so that's not something that I can really tell you. We obviously know that Yo spotted that dock. So we'll see, I guess. T90, how can you not stream on other platforms? Meanwhile, people stream your event on Twitch and get 2K plus live viewers, ? I'm not sure what you're not understanding. I have a contract to stream here, and so I stream here. Just like anyone else. Well, I mean, other people's contracts might be different. But if you have an exclusive contract, you stream on one platform. And then if other people have contracts, they stream on another platform. And whether I get 1 viewer or 10 million viewers, I stream here. What's there not to understand? 1890, just a question. Is there any plans for some AoE 4 videos coming back? ? No. Not for me. If I was less busy in Age of Empires 2, I might give Age of Empires 2, Age of Empires 4 a chance again. But I think that ship has sailed for me. There was a period where I was interested in it, and they kind of screwed up that period, let's put it that way. And it's hard for me to find the motivation to go back. People have told me good things about AoE 4, like it's a completely different game, and if it is, I hope people who play it and enjoy it. But for me, there's a lot of stuff that went down behind the scenes with it that definitely made me lose flavor and interest in it. It's almost like they didn't want me to be involved in it initially, and then also the state of the game has me have no interest at this point. So BacT's dock, like aside from Yo going here, right? So aside from Yo's dock, BacT's dock is just not a good dock, right? If you see the landlock, you're going to want to move this way. It would have actually been very awkward, though, because they would have likely gone to the same spot. But what's going to happen is he's going to run out of the fish here, and then he's going to move on to this fish, and Yo may very well do the same. So I think if BacT hasn't confirmed anything as far as the dock's concerned, they're going to find each other's fish either way. And something that I remember now as I see it more and more from BacT is he's extremely good at finding boars. He had done, I think he brought in like 5 or 6 boars against Leary. So I think if he could do that and he's expecting to lose his fish, maybe we could see some type of a fast castle. But yeah, you always prefer to be on the outside, and you always prefer to be in Yo's position where you confirm their dock spot and they don't necessarily confirm yours. So, submitted my PhD thesis today. I watched tons of your videos since I got into the game a couple years ago while I was writing. Nice. Congratulations. You're not the first person to tell me that. And my girlfriend's in the midst of her fiance, is in the midst of getting her PhD. So I definitely know on some level how crazy intensive that work is and how stressful everything is. So congratulations. Yeah, I think Yo's going to focus water here. It is really interesting. Like, people will show up and leave a passive-aggressive comment about viewership or whatever, and then they'd never say another comment. It's very puzzling. It's very puzzling. Like, I obviously respond to them because I've been doing this for way too long at this point. Like, if someone doesn't like me and, like, whatever, I'm I do my best to do me, and you know, be the best version of myself that I can, and whatever else happens. But people show up, and they'll like say again some weird passive aggressive comment where either they didn't really think about it, or the way they said it, or whatever, and then just peace out. It's like, oh, okay, thanks, appreciate it, I guess. Fortunately, we don't have the beauty of having moved to a new platform is the majority of people who are here, people who care about me, and first and foremost want to be here for me, right? And so any other like aspect of whatever else they might want to discuss, that's not as important for the majority of people who show up here, obviously, and obviously watch my videos too. So yeah, it's interesting, man. Maybe I should probably just ignore it and move on and just continue to do things. But sometimes I'm just like, why not say something, you know? So 2 docks for both. Actually, it's going to be 3 here for Yo. And Portuguese ships have more HP. And BacT, he must have known, because he walked right on by here. And he's going to make fire galleys, and this is going to be a good old fish battle. I feel like this situation for Yo's fish is not very good. But this isn't good for Yo's fish either. I actually think it would be wise for Yo to move his fishing ships here. Because that is not in between the docks from BacT. Now, obviously, we have to focus on other things too. They have to macro. And they have to transition up towards Castle Age or Army and Feudal. But, yeah, we'll see what happens, so. But interesting, Andrew. Like, you know, well, we'll talk a bit more about it later on when the game settles down. But as I've said millions of times already, I know that many people came here specifically for me and is by far the best move for me in my future as a person, but as a content creator. So whether you care about me as a person at all, you may or may not, I don't know. But the whole content creator thing, at the very least, is where people see value in me here. So I appreciate you guys being here and being level-headed, you know? So Yo was able to shift his fishing ships down here. This is where eventually BacT's going to want to go. And it's just, you know, Yo just kind of like expected it the whole way through here, right? He went triple dock against 2, and he's got BacT smushed in here. And remember that game? Does anyone remember 2 specific Nomad games, actually? You had the one game where ACCM played against Doubt, and Doubt's fish were safe and, like, hidden. And the fishing ships are kind of blocking the fire right now, which is kind of funny. And it's intentional from BacT as well. But Yo just out-micros him anyways. Okay, so we had that game. And then we also had the game, and oh shoot, I just realized they switched colors. I'm so sorry. How did that dawn on me by now? But there was another game with Sato and Veleza. And Veleza knew his opponent's dock was far away, but went water anyways. And my point in that cast was sometimes you can't just go fight water if you feel like you're going to be at a disadvantage. So I'm surprised, I guess, that BacT, upon seeing his starting position, tried to YOLO to fight water, but that might not be the end-all be-all in this game, because as I said before, BacT does a really good job finding food, and even without the fishing ships, he could still be okay. I'm not going to change the colors now, because I think it's going to be too confusing. But yeah, I'm really sorry. You guys might have mentioned that in Dark Age, and I was too busy focused on other things. But yeah, Yo obviously now in blue, fishing away. And I wonder if we'll see unique unit from him. Dude. Dude. This is nice. This is nice. You've got a mill on the well, there's the shorefish around as well, but you've got the berries, you've got the goats, and you've got the deer. And it's also on a nice little peninsula. At the very least, it looks cool, you know? BacT is going to try and demo the fish. Yo, you better move your fishing ships away from here. Yo! You've won water, bro. You've won water. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Dude, the whole point of winning water was for those fish. Oh. It could have been worse, too. The way they were circled like that, if the demo would have gone in the middle of the fish, it would have killed all 5. And now he's got to add more fishing ships to get back to where he was. And dang, that's amazing for BacT. BacT, by the way, is on stone. Or no, it looks like he's just sending a couple to stone. And he's clicked up to Castle Age here. So, dang, man. All right, and let's talk about vision on land. Yo. He must have lost a couple goats here. So I think he has an idea that BacT is there. BacT, he definitely knows that Yo is here. Also sailing away with this one fishing ship. Honestly, it wouldn't be too bad to sneak a dock over here and get a safe fish boom. It wouldn't be that crazy. You would think that Yo's going to just send some ships to the other side, but just something to think about. And I guess we're going to see both players going for their unique units. Reminder that the key for BacT here is to get one win. And oh boy, I love this from BacT. See, Yo thinks that BacT is just going to give up on water so he can add fish all day. And these fishing ships are going to shift over here. And BacT is just going to wait for it. That's so smart. Now, Yo has still benefited a lot from bringing in the food. So, and Yo is also walled, which, again, very safe Yo thing. Gives him time. He's always very strategic about things. I don't know which unique unit wins the matchup. I think Organ Guns would win. Let's see if Yo spots these docks here. If he spots the docks, he needs to bring all of his fires back. BacT's food eco is not so good anymore. He's going to spend the majority of his food. Oh, also, I think I need to re-enable. Oh, no, it's been on. He's got to get War Galley. Let's see, is Yo going to take the shorefish then? Is the villager going to move somewhere else? Also, Loom for BacT makes me think he's going to go aggressive. Okay, dock going up gives him the vision. Now he's got to move the fish. Now he's got to bring all these fires back home. He's going to be kicking himself. It's funny, though, because he was thinking there could be safe fish over there. But maybe you just send one instead of all of them. The good news here, though, is BacT is very much going to be all in. Like, the guy hasn't even seeded a farm here. The good news, though, is that even if he loses the fishing ships, he's still brought in a lot of food income, which has allowed him to do a lot in this game. And good job from him to just give up a fishing ship or two, but not give them all up. And he can actually sail these down here. Probably just click this fish here. And then you've got these 5 fires that will help out. And then these poor villagers on this little peninsula are going to get hit by some flames, but who doesn't like to be... They've got a nice little tan, you know? They can skip the tanning booth these days. Not bad. All right, so monks and then wagons is the plan for BacT. Can Yo see this castle? He can. Yo's the master of defense, amongst other things. He's just so good strategically, right? And that normally leads into some defense. Nice fish save. If Yo notices this, he should probably castle right here, I think. BacT is in a crazy all-in scenario. I like the fact that he tried to like come back on water a little bit. But I think it should have been purely to snipe the fish. Trying to just like kill all of Yo's navy at this point, I don't think see what value that gives you. Oh, can you imagine if he didn't have house walls here and it was only just palisades? There's still a slight chance here that this could get denied. We've got the Hussite wagon, we've got the villagers, and we've got the monks. The monks have fervor, too. They're speedy, man. They could convert those vills. I just don't know if Hussite wagons are good enough. Yo drops a siege workshop to block it off. BacT can't see the castle yet? Oh, he can. No, you can't deny that, dude. You can't deny it. Not happening. By the way, BacT's 10 on food, very deceiving. Because these villagers here are those villagers. He doesn't have villagers on food elsewhere. He's got enough for another castle, too. I think he's just going to go for it. Okay. I think Yo's going to try and fast imp this, guys. Like, that's the vibe that I'm getting right now. He's just going to stonewall behind this. It's never a great feeling when you want to drop a second castle, but you can't drop it on somebody, you know? You can't do anything valuable with that castle. And Yo's just going to make a new market here as he clears up the ships. He definitely seems to be saving towards Imp, and I could definitely see like a fast Imp Monk play for Yo as we now see more Stonewalls. Dang. A fast Imp is such a good call here. You've got a castle right by your opponent's castle. You're likely going to get all in with monks and siege, so you can just go for your own monks, and they get better in the Imperial Age. And you're Portuguese, so you can add Feitoria, which adds to your economy. I feel bad for BacT here. He clearly wanted to go castle drop, bust in, drop another castle, and win the game. What? He just dropped a farm. BacT. I think he might have dropped the farm so he could drop off the food from the stuff he had in his hands. But you're not Khmer, bro. You're not Khmer. Oh my god, where are you going? Hello? Yeah, he deposited the food. That was his only food eco. Now she's just gonna run home. And BacT should be dropping a couple monasteries here, I think. And hello? Hello? What are you doing? Bro. BacT, you're trolling, bro. Oh my god. A castle on the opponent's castle. That's a new one. If this goes up, he can't hit it. He can't actually hit the bills because he doesn't have murder holes. That's amazing. Imagine if Yo didn't have... I really hope this goes up. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. It's at 78%. Oh no. No. Oh. BacT laughs. Yo laughs. And BacT drops the GG. The castle is denied at 89%. Ah. Well, you know, if Yo didn't make organ guns, or like add siege, or, you know, add walls and fishing ships and be really good at the game, that would have worked. You know? If Yo wasn't Yo, that maybe would have worked. I mean, BacT clearly felt like he had to do something. And he's spot on. Like, his whole play was for a double castle drop. He knew he would never reach Imp, and he knew that Yo was just playing defensive until Imperial Age and he would die. So he tried. And I think we have to appreciate him for trying his best there. That was a crazy attempt. I mean, we could maybe... I don't know if I've ever seen that at a high level. I don't know if I've ever seen that type of attempt there. But yeah, I mean, also, even if the castle goes up, because Yo still had stone, Yo could just drop a new one. Right? Like, I think what could have made this work, possibly, is if you get the castle up, and then you ram this down, and then Yo doesn't have trebs, or even if he makes a treb, he has to send the treb way back here, or the treb gets hit by the castle fire, but... Yeah, I think, honestly, I gotta heavily question BacT picking Bohemians when he had Malians on his draft. But, you know, when you look at this series, I think you look at game number 2, and you say, that's the game that BacT needed to get a win on. Hold on, I think I want to fix this for future sets. There we go. Yeah, game number 2 was really well played from BacT, and then Yo ended up having a crazy comeback there. So... after the second round, Yo now has 5 wins out of a potential 6. So he's actually at the top of Group B, ahead of Leary by 1. BacT, he only has 1 win after a potential of 6. So still relegation conversation for BacT as we continue. But BacT already played Leary and Yo. So BacT will have to play MBL, he'll have to play Dark, and he'll have to play Draken. And those opponents are arguably easier. I think MBL is going to be tricky, obviously. But, like, I think BacT might even be the favorite against Draken and the favorite against Dark. And BacT, of course, is just going to want to get 4th place or 3rd place, something along those lines, so he's not in 5th or 6th and gets relegated. Still, you know, not going Malians is weird to me. YOLOing for the fish when you're pretty much stuck with your own fish also felt a bit bad, but maybe he felt like he had to do it. And truthfully, fish is a big part of Nomad. But Yo played very well. Quick and easy there for 3-0. And did I just call him 3-0? Yeah, I remember that meme. Quick and easy 3-0 for Yo, sorry. And not a bad performance from him at all.